Hi there, this is Kevin Benedict, SAP Mentor and Enterprise Mobility Analyst, and I have with me as guest today Rod Puzey. How are you doing, Rod?
Good, Kevin. How are you doing?
Good. Rod's COO with Zenware here in Boise, Idaho. I've had the opportunity to sit down with him today and just brainstorm and also share experiences. So, Rod, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. What are some of the most interesting mobility use cases companies have asked you about recently?
Yeah. One of the most interesting one was a relationship application that literally allowed you to walk into a restaurant or a bar or any social setting, and it would instantly pick up on other users that had the application and let you know their status, if they were single or looking or not looking. And the use case was an easier way for people that are a little shy about asking somebody to talk to them, that they could actually locate them without having to go up and ask them. They would just,
Interesting.
business case application would be, we talked to a company that wanted to monitor the tire pressure of an airplane by simply walking past it and having a gauge that is already part of the airplane tell the mobile device what the tire pressure of each tire was on the airplane.
Is this so when the guy's walking by, if it's low, he can add air to it? Or
yeah, it's really important for the tire pressure to be exactly what it needs to be on an airplane. For landing, obviously, it needs to be stable. And so that's a very tedious manual process right now. And this would be a way to automate that and make it quicker between flight changes and things like that.
I can think there's a lot of inspection applications which would benefit from having a machine just share with the technician something's wrong with it.
Yeah, basically a machine talking to a machine, telling it, when was the last time you did maintenance on this vehicle, and what was the mileage, and who did the last inspection.
I've seen a lot of things like oil tanks and pressurized tanks, pressurized pipelines, where people have to continually walk a route and look at pressure gauges. I could see the value if that was basically tweeting the status without somebody having to go look at the gauges all the time.
Yeah, and there's the APIs that are available to use things like Twitter and some of the social media tools would make that very easy to do, where you could send an automatic update and things like that.
Got it. So what other interesting use cases have popped up recently?
We've had people that have wanted to do anything from a gaming application that you could go back and forth and give smack to a group. There's actually an application coming out in a couple weeks called Give Mojo that allows you to basically root for a team and oppose. Instead of going together in a social situation and becoming a member of the social media, you become a member of the game, and you're like the 12th man on the field, if you will, for a football game. And then when the event's over, you disperse and come back for whatever next event you want to do. So it's looking at social media in the reverse, which is kind of an interesting application.
Very cool. Now, what other kind of apps do you guys make here at Zenware?
We make field service applications, so any kind of inspection or asset tracking or work order that people need to transfer data from the field or transfer services and prices and take really extend their business from outside the four walls and go out and do business in the environment, in the community, and not really have to have a home location.
Okay, now we were talking earlier about some, disaster inspection kinds of applications.
Yeah.
What do those kind of applications do, and what do they encompass?
So the disaster tracking application, if you will, it actually goes out and allows a group of individuals to go to a disaster area and really rapidly report on what has happened. Is there a down pole? Is there debris in the road? Is it a residential or commercial area? And really map, using GPS and using their specific location, map what has happened and the current environment around them, and then they can update it, and everyone else that has that application can see exactly what's happening at any given time, and allows them to warn of areas that have downed power poles and live electricity and things like that, so that people can avoid them.
So what kind of companies would use that? Would that be a utility company? Would that be a government?
Utility companies could use that. Governments or city entities, police departments, fire departments, ambulance, Red Cross, anybody that has to do anything with recovery or with disaster that would need to know that information.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Rod, I want to thank you very much for sharing these interesting use cases. There's a million different things you can do with mobility, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I
and
appreciate it.
Yeah, so thanks for giving the rest of us some ideas on what you're hearing and seeing out there.
Great.
Thanks Rod.